Hello everybody. Trying to get my camera set up there. Anyways, we talked about the Pontiacs a little before, and someone asked me to elaborate on them a little bit, and I will. So it'll be a little easier to follow along with what I did, what's in my mind, and what's going on. But just on a personal note, I'm here at home, been home by myself for several days. The wife had to make an emergency trip to Louisiana where her surrogate, you might call her surrogate grandmother, she has an actual grandmother, but this woman means a great deal. She had an unexpected, of course, heart attack, and she has since passed away. So please, prayers out to that family. Good people. She was a good woman, and she was very good to me. And I'm heartbroken by it. I couldn't go, but her and her dad went. They took our niece on. Kat just walked in front of the camera, and she'll be back home tomorrow. So here we go on this. Okay, here is the original 73. This is a car I've had since '02. It was last driven in 1992, as the sticker will tell us, North Carolina. This car is North Carolina from day one. Bought brand new at Crown Pontiac in Greenville. And I did know the name of the gentleman that bought it new. I've got everything, window sticker, warranty info. I've got every piece of paperwork. These people was meticulous on this particular car. Now, I bought this out of a junkyard in Cana, Virginia, which is just on the border of North Carolina. And at the time, this car was very solid. I first found it in '92 when it had, yeah, that's my buddy Marty there, when it had just been brought to the yard, but I was just a young pup in junior high school at the time and did not have the $500 they wanted for it. 10 years later, I was being laid off from a trucking job, and on my last day I had to take excuse me guys, trailers from Abingdon, Virginia down to Winston-Salem to another lot, to a place that wasn't getting shut down. And on the way back, I stopped by the junkyard, and lo and behold, the car was still there. Turns out one of the guys that was part owner or owner, I'm not real clear on that, had a interest in it and wanted to restore the car, but had never touched it. But fortunately, he had kept the crusher and pickers, part pickers, away from it. So I ended up getting it. Well, then guess what? Life happened. We had kids. I was married at the time to my first wife, which I didn't have no kids. Yeah, I did too. I'm sorry, I got my years mixed up. In '92 when I first found it, no, of course I didn't have kids. I was in junior high. My daughter was born in '95. '02, we had just had our second child, my only two, my daughter and my son, who I miss and I love very much if you're out there, guys. This car got put on the back burner for many other things. I didn't want to just piece it together. I wanted it to be nice. And at the time I was focusing heavily on my 64 because it was a daily driver. I had to have it. And the chassis and some of the body parts that's on the blue and white 64 that you all see now are from that same truck. If you watch my old videos, let's see, what's the title of that? Doomsday Machine slideshow, you see that the truck was red and black cab on it. That was the 64 I was riding then. 6-cylinder, 3-speed. Rode that truck for many years. But, you know, we swapped cabs. That cab was junk. I sold it to someone who wanted it to cut up to use sections out of it for another one. But anyways, 2002 to now, it's been 15 years. God, it seems longer. 02 to 70, yeah, that's 15 years. Well, anyways, the car is rotted. She got bad. And as I mentioned in another video, I got under it here one day, just jacked it up to see just how bad, because I could see the bottom of the doors here was getting soft. Soft is a polite way of putting it. You see, they're gone. Bottoms of the fenders gone. And I since I bought this car, I found the 76, this car over there behind the Ranger, in Lebanon, Tennessee. The car had spent its life in Tennessee. It too was a very solid car and still is. It's got just some minor rust issues, but they are that. They're minor. They're nothing I can't fix, and I'm very pleased with that. So here's the dilemma. I love a 76 Grand Prix. I love all years of these Grand Prix. But, I used to have this argument with my brother, who is a 71 Barracuda fanatic. He had a nice run and driving 74, and a rotted down, and I do mean a rotted down 71. And I was like, Russ, or his name's Russ. I said, when you're sitting behind the wheel looking over that hood, you can't see the grill, you don't know what model it is. He made the argument, yeah, I do. I want it to be this, or I want it to be that. And our goal on that car was to make it a 71 with the spare parts car. Well, I decided to do the same with this Grand Prix. We never got to do it with the Cuda. Life happened with him too, as it does with all of us. And the Cuda is now gone. Matter of fact, it lives on. A good friend of ours done an amazing restoration on that car. Well, it took him about 2 cars to make one, but when he got done, he's got a $100,000 car, and it's gorgeous. So, to clarify, what I did was remove, this is Andorra by the way, the front section. I was going to put the nose and the bumper on it, and the more I dug, I realized that 73, the entire radiator support is different. The bumper hangers are completely different for the 73. Now, I don't know if they would be shared with the other round headlight cars like this 75 back here. They may do it. I'd say they do, because the issue with the core support was up here. These cars have a shorter hood. I did not know they're shorter. I knew they wouldn't swap from car to car because they have these humps here for the round headlights, as you can see when you look straight on. But it's actually longer on the 76, 77 square headlight cars. Well, as you can tell, this hood's garbage. So I put the nose on. I didn't have a hood that would fit. I wasn't even going to bother taking this one off. It's not worth it unless I just wanted to gut the subframe out from under it and pin it. And I even thought about that. But on my travels, and I'm bad to run back roads, I found this. And when I seen this, I said, oh my God, look at that hood, because it was just like it is now. It was cracked, open, very mild surface rust here, absolutely no rot out. So I got the guy's number, contacted him, and he did not want to sell a car, period. He was just about one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. I mean, cool guy. But this is just me rambling, but I'll tell you about it. He had a 69 GTO that he had bought in 72, and it still had original paint. 25 years of that car's life, he'd kept it in storage and rode other Pontiacs, and it avoided the typical pattern of abuse. Yes, Chloe, people, you're famous now. But it had, not been subjected to winters, and it was in really good shape. Well, he had upgraded the car to a 455, and he bought this car for a spare engine. Well, I talked him into selling me the whole car, but not before he wanted to meet me in person. Make me go through the whole thing, you know, I'll trade hoods with you, and you can pay me boot. And when it was all said and done, he just sold me the car. So that explains, just so you know, why I don't have a hood on this Grand Prix. Now, I removed the whole nose section from the other and put on this one, as you can see. This was originally my 76 that I've done really puny burnouts with and so forth. But now it's a 73. And this 73, by the way, was a real 455 car. It had the 455 in when I bought it, but it was knocking. But we're going to transplant the essence of the other car, the 73, into this 76. And outside of the nose and the back, it's the same car. I mean, the interior is just mildly different, but I've got all that too. The trick was this. The rear is completely different on 73. This was part of the government's crash laws, bumpers, and the government didn't like that filler neck bend down there in the bumper. So in 74 they changed the rear end to that style over there, like on that car. Now it seems simple enough just swapping one out for the other, but let me tell you what, it's not. This thing is actually about 3 inches longer. So I had to seam it in right along here. I had this part from the other car, as you've seen, it's been cut up. All the guttering in here is different. I haven't finished it. But you see I had to piece some of it back in. And see, I still got some patching to do. The floor is different. You see I've got a gap here. This is 73 metal, this is 76 metal. Chloe, sweetheart. I'm going to bridge this with metal, tack it in, and then fiberglass over top of it. Because I'm not building a show car. I'm building what I've always wanted, 73 Grand Prix. This trunk was basically one big gaping hole. 73 also is a 1 year only trunk. So, had to fix it, couldn't find one. Found one, Arizona, $300 plus shipping. I don't have that kind of money. This car is actually sitting on blocks because the gentleman I bought the 75 from would not let the wheels go. His brother had a 69 Firebird and he wanted the 15-inch rallies off that car and would not budge on that. So I was already a couple wheels short, having enough for both of my cars. Now I'm like 6 wheels short, having enough wheel for all my cars. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I've got to get some back on this car because even though it's not licensed or anything, it just does my heart good to rip up and down the road in it once in a while. But as fate would have it, the car I'm fixing does not have a posi track in it. Both of the others do though. So I've got 2. And I have driven the 75. I know that it's quiet back there. And the 73, I don't know. I moved that car around some when I first got it with the old knocking engine, but I never got to actually take it up the road and get up any speed or run it enough till it got warm. I do know I raked an awful lot of rubber out of the wheel wells when I got it, because the transmission had about this much crap in the bottom of it, and the motor was knocking. That's why I was in the junkyard. Somebody, I believe, had just literally pulled it up against a stop somewhere and just fried the tires. I don't know. You don't know what gets into people's mind. But anyway, that's the story of the Grand Prix. And the story of what I hope to end up with when it's over. And I was working on this car every day as I could. I had actually pulled the blue truck out of the shed over there to work on the Grand Prix when my dad wrecked the little Ranger. And as right now, the little Ranger kind of takes precedence. I don't know if he'll ever drive again. He's kind of lost his interest in it, and he probably shouldn't, but he ain't no different than anybody else. You know, we all like to know it's there if we want to, and it's his only vehicle, and it means a lot to him. My mother actually loved that thing, and she's been gone now for 8 years. So we're going to fix it if it can be fixed, and I think it can. I jacked it up and looked at it, and it seems to have busted the hub, lower A-arm, rack and pinion. I've already got a rack for it, and I bought an A-arm new. I get them cheaper through Rock Auto brand new than I could for the Junkyard used. I don't know about the hub. I wasn't counting on that, and I just found that the other day. I can look behind the wheel and see the wheel bearing, so that's not good. Might have to have a spindle. But if so, we'll get it, we'll fix it, and that'll be that. So, prayers out to my family's friends there. God bless them people, they're good people. They've been, like I said, they've been good to me, and I really care about them. And the wife, she's heartbroken, as is her dad, who also was best friends with these people for very, very many years. And this lady had married her husband in 1955 when she was 15 years old. This was their 60th anniversary. And thank God they was still active enough till they had driven from their home in Indiana to Louisiana when she had this heart attack. So I would love to be able to do that when I was their age, you know. I think that's blessed. That's very blessed. Well, anyways, I can ramble on about them all day. I've rambled on about plenty. But there you go, guys. That's the update on the Grand Prix. That's an explanation of it. And if anybody's got any questions, man, just put them in the comments. Like it, share it. If you don't like it, tell me. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. It's okay. I do this just for whoever likes it, and if they don't like it, well, don't watch it. But, again, I forgot to mention, you know, the 455 and the 75. I haven't rebuilt an engine in a very long time. That engine runs good. It's got good oil pressure, but I would like to have it freshened up. I don't know if this camera's even pointing at me, guys, but strongly considering doing it myself, because I can get the rebuild kit for around $500, and well, I know I can do it. It just costs so much to pay a professional to do it, and I need some opinions. I have several different sets of Pontiac heads. Anybody got any info on which heads are best for 455? I have a set of 72 Model 400 heads. I've got 6X Pontiac heads. I've got, you know, I don't know what the heads are. It's on the car. I don't even know how to know. I know 6X has it written right on, you know, plain view. But anybody's got any information on this, share it with me, because I really ain't up on it. So I'd appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and keep watching.